Welcome to the Stardom Fantasy Football Podcast. I know you guys are wondering, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing the get up, you're seeing the fantasy get up, and you're wondering what's going on. I thought I was tuning in for Fantasy Football Podcast. I thought I was going to figure out who to play this week. What kind of matchups we're looking at. Well, we got a treat for you guys. We are doing a first half of the season Stardom Awards show. We're going to be talking through a couple different categories here and give you our nominees as well as our finalists for each. It's kind of a ESPYs/Emmy/Grammys take on fantasy football. We're going to do one at the end of the season as well, where we're going to go over the full season. Maybe we'll change up superlatives. Maybe we'll keep a few. This will be sort of our trial run, if you will. But I'm excited. The way we set this up was Jacob and Ashton don't know each other's nominees, so they're going to be just as shocked as you guys are. They're going to be caught on surprise, just like y'all. So buckle up, put on your fanciest jacket, grab a cigar, grab a thing of scotch, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We're also going to be talking trade candidates as well. If you tune in towards the end of the show, you'll hear some people that we're excited about for the rest of the season, as well as some guys that we're trying to get as much value as we can trading away. But how are you guys today? Jacob, Ashton, you guys excited for our, I don't know what we should call this. It's not the ESPYs, but we'll call it the Stardom Awards.
Oh, that's good.
Great.
Honestly, I feel underdressed. Obviously, I've got my best dad by par shirt on. And
that was going to be one of the superlatives.
Yeah, we're get a haircut though, so that worked out.
There you go.
So we're not even the guys invited to the show. We're the guys watching the show from the couch.
You guys are like the scalpers outside.
Yeah. From the couch, but we're watching through the window at the other person's house because we didn't know anything about it. So that's pretty much where we're at.
You guys.
Other than that, I'm good.
You got the update. This is a COVID award show, so nobody actually here in the studio with me. It's just myself. I present all my awards virtually. All of the winners will be getting their award via mail. None of them were able to make it tonight, though. So,
kind of rude.
Maybe on future episodes.
Maybe the off season.
Stefen, you sure you're not there a night early? Because it looks pretty empty in the
right.
background.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. COVID.
Okay.
We have high regulations here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very well done social distancing there.
Thank you. Yeah, we rented a large venue for this, even though it was just going to be me here. But guys, let's jump into it. We got some. Let's see how many superlatives we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 awards to hand out tonight. A lot of great candidates. Some people are nominated for multiple awards. So congratulations to the select few. But I'm gonna kind of do it in reverse here because I think we're gonna save some of the best awards for the end.
Oh wow!
So if you guys are ready, let's get into the awards.
All right, let's do it.
First award of the night of the Stardom Awards, first annual, or I guess biannual. So we're going to do it twice.
Bi-seasonal. How about that? How's that work?
There we go. Stardom Awards. The first category, most likely not to continue their first half pace. These are guys that have just been fantastic to start. We don't have such high hopes for moving along towards the end of the season, second half of the season here. The nominees are Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf,
wow,
Robert Tonyan,
I did not see that coming,
Mike Evans, and Todd Gurley. Can you give me a drum roll, please? The winner of arguably the worst award to win for the night, Amari Cooper. Please take your word.
Wait, what was the trophy on that?
It's what are those things called?
This is it says grandfather statue. Congratulations, Mari. You'll be receiving your grandfather statue in the mail. Let's talk about this quickly, guys. Out of the candidates that you guys heard, who is the biggest surprise to you? Who is someone that stuck out to you as the least, the person that shouldn't be on this list, maybe? Someone that was a surprise to you. We should give him a little bit more respect, I guess.
I don't want to respect Robert Tonyan. Who were the other? Mike Evans, was that one?
It was Mike Evans, Todd Gurley, Robert Tonyan, DK Metcalf, and Amari Cooper.
I'd say Mike Evans. I'm not completely surprised. Obviously, he's been super efficient with his 1 yard touchdowns that he continues to get. But honestly, he's been banged up all season. Chris Godwin's been out, hasn't really been able to stretch the field and do what he do. So I think he could turn it around, but he could not as well. So it could go either way. But we have seen him top 1,000 yards every year. So I hope to see him do that again. But we'll see. Obviously, Ashton's boy Gronk is coming on strong. He's going to start taking all the yards, all the touchdowns. So that could definitely bring him down back to earth.
You don't even know. Gronk's just getting started.
I think mine is DK Metcalf. Like, I mean, he's done nothing but be great. Like, why are we putting him in this category? Jacob, you have some answering to do. That was your nomination for this award. So
I thought these were going to be confidential. I feel violated.
Now we're putting them out in the open.
Well, just tell him who mine was then. Just go ahead and make it even.
Yeah, so Ashton and I actually both had Amari Cooper. That's why he was tonight's winner of the award.
Well, I mean, that makes sense to me, okay? You take away arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league who's just off to a fiery start with a terrible defense, so airing the ball out all over the place. You got Andy Dalton out there. You don't know what's going to happen. But for DK Metcalf, let me go back to that for just a second. I was just looking at some of his stats, and it's kind of crazy. He's got 22.2 yards per reception. He only has 22 catches on the year, okay? He has had his bye, but he's got 22 catches for almost 500 yards. That is insanity. And 5 touchdowns as well. He's had a touchdown per game. And there's rumors. They're out there. They're coming through the grapevine. The Seahawks are going to sign Antonio Brown. That's going to happen. There's no way around it. And once that happens, DK Metcalf's not going to be alone out there. And
he's not alone out there now. He's got Tyler Lockett.
Pop lock and drop it. Don't worry about that, man. It'll just be even worse. It's just more mouths to feed. And I think I don't think they're going to be as pass heavy as they were. I think it's kind of taking
a lot of what ifs in your state.
I think it's been taking a lot of toll on their defense, not running the ball as much like they used to. And their defense is just horrible right now. So maybe they'll try to get them off the field a little bit, run the ball, give them some breaks.
Oh, breaky breaks.
See, I kind of disagree with that. I'm not going to dive into it too much, but but I think if DK has to play with Antonio Brown, I don't think that necessarily hurts him. I think if anything, that might take some attention off of him, give him more opportunity. And I don't agree that they're going to lean more running back, run heavy on the second half of the season, especially if they get Antonio Brown. If they pick up Antonio Brown, they're not going to pick him up just to be a distraction. They're going to use him. And Russell was dying to get Antonio Brown. He was doing workouts with him preseason. If they pick him up and this is going to work out, they're going to use him. And they're going to make a statement with him. So we'll see. I like your theory, but I
thank you.
Professionally disagree with it.
That's totally fine.
I agree with you as well, Ashton. The disrespect put on DK Metcalf's name is
okay, are you telling me he's gonna have let's say a touchdown a game?
You're not gonna tell DK to his face.
So he's gonna have 16 touchdowns. He's gonna have 1 billion yards on 66 catches. Is that what you guys are telling me?
We'll see.
I don't think he's gonna. Do you think he's gonna be? So you guys think he's gonna be like top 3 wide receiver rest of the year?
Top 5, yes.
Easily top 5, potentially top 3 for sure.
I believe in DK. All right, that's all I have to say.
And so does Russell, who said he's the best to do it. So
Okay.
All right, let's move on to our second award of the night.
Here we go.
Second award is Comeback Player of the first half of the season here. We got some great nominees. Here we go. The nominees are Alvin Kamara, Stefen Diggs, Teddy Bridgewater,
Teddy.
and lastly, Roby Anderson. Guys, you can give me a drum roll, please, actually. Just go ahead and break it down for me. There was no unanimous winner on this one.
Oh, Daddy, this is the one.
So the way we're going to format this one, there's 2 awards on the night that don't have a decisive winner. So I want you guys to, out of those 4 players, quickly tell me who the guy who you would have as your number 1 and your number 2 for this award. You don't need to give me a drawn out, analysis of it. I just want to hear who your top 2 would be.
I would like 5 minutes apiece, please.
And we will take the consensus. If there's multiple appearances from either of any of these candidates, we will take them as the winner. We'll start off with you, Ashton. Out of Kamara, Diggs, Teddy Bridgewater, and Roby Anderson, who would be your 1 and 2?
Kamara would be 1, and 2. Who? That's tough. I would say Diggs.
Okay. Jacob, yourself?
Yeah. Just kidding. So I would say my number 1 is probably Stefen Diggs. Mainly there was like so much hate on the guy. He had no respect. Okay, let's not talk about DK Metcalf. Let's talk about Stefen Diggs. He finished as I think he was wide receiver 18 or 19 last year, and he didn't like the situation. He wanted to get out of it, and he went to Buffalo. Everyone's like, "Oh well, they don't pass the ball. He's just a deep threat. He's not gonna do much else other than that. He's not gonna be consistent." And lo and behold, he has been very consistent. He is the 4th wide receiver on the league in the league right now, and fantasy points scored. He's just, I think everyone's been surprised with how efficient he's been and just how involved he is, and just making do with what he's got. And then, sorry, that was drawn out. Number 2. Can you give me the other names again, please?
Bridgewater, Kamara, and Roby Anderson.
I'm going to have to go with the feel-good story of Teddy Bridgewater. We did see him start a few games last year with the Saints, obviously, but I had concerns about him just being a game manager, and I didn't think he could stretch out the field, and he's been stretching out the field, and he's been looking great. And obviously he came back from the catastrophic injury a few years ago, and I'm proud. I'm really proud of him, and I want him to know that. Teddy, I'm talking to you, baby.
All right, my 2 nominees are going to be Roby Anderson, just because out of this list, I'm looking at mine completely from a fantasy perspective here. Out of this list, if we wrote off anybody, it was Roby Anderson. Nobody thought he was going to come to Carolina with Teddy Bridgewater and just be dominant. Like, everybody was writing off Roby Anderson. Nobody wanted Roby Anderson in drafts.
That's correct.
He's been great. Teddy Bridgewater, he's just an emotional pick. He hasn't been a great fantasy asset.
He's top 12.
He has 3 games under 15 points. I don't want that. I don't want that on my list. And I think we might see Alvin Kamara and some of these other categories here. So my second will be Stefen Diggs. Therefore, congratulations, Stefen Diggs. You are our comeback player of the first half.
All right.
Stefen, be prepared for your greatest grandpa trophy in the mail. Next up, For our Stardom Awards, we have the greatest single game performance of the first half. And just I know it's not the first half of the full NFL season has been completed. This is first half
of the fantasy season.
Fantasy season.
That's
right?
what we're here for. That's it. Okay.
Most fantasy schedules are set up to run through the end of week 13. Clearly, there's no halfway point in week 13, just kind of in the middle of 6 and 7. So here we are.
Which technically we are.
Exactly.
Because it's a Wednesday. So
there's been some great performances so far. We've had huge quarterback performances, we've had huge running back performances. We've had, all over the place. Great games from people. But you guys, I think, are going to be surprised by some of these nominees. The nominees for greatest single game performance of the first half. Patrick Mahomes, week 3 versus Baltimore. Derrick Henry, week 6 versus the Texans. Aaron Jones, week 2 versus Detroit. And lastly, but definitely not least, Steven Gostkowski.
Oh, boy.
Week 3 versus Minnesota.
Wow.
These are great nominees. Is there anyone that really kind of stuck out to you as a
one's
surprise?
Really in my head right now.
Surprise appearance for you.
This could be the first and last time we have a kicker nominated.
Derrick Henry, week 6 versus the Texans.
Sure.
Derrick Henry, you are a large man, so I will send you an appropriate trophy. You will not be getting a grandpa trophy. Congratulations on your.
Can we hear those stats for that performance?
Sure. 22 carries, 212 yards, which equates to 9.6 yards a carry for 2 touchdowns, as well as 2 receptions for 52 yards. That's 264 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Which equals 39.4 half-point fantasy points. Congratulations again, Mr. Henry.
A lot of points. Congrats, Derek.
All right, we will jump into the next award. We're starting to get to some of the highlight awards here, some of the big boys.
What I've been waiting for.
Yeah. These are the big ones. These are the ones you call your mom about. These are once in a lifetime awards for you guys. You guys have probably won awards before, but not a Stardom award because they've never happened before.
That's true. So you can't.
Next award is the rookie of the first half. Who has been the best rookie so far through 6 weeks of the NFL season? And the nominees: Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, James Robinson,
Yeah.
Chase Claypool,
Mm.
and lastly, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Respectable.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone that you guys are really hoping takes on this award tonight?
I think
All great nominees. All great nominees.
a lot of great nominees. I am a homer, so I will say CeeDee Lamb. If you don't win this, I'll be very upset for you.
Drum roll, please. The rookie of the first half of the season is Justin Jefferson.
Woo!
Great job, Justin.
Congrats, Justin.
Solid pick.
We're very happy for you. I just want to remind you both that I told you Justin Jefferson was going to be great before the season started, and then proceeded to drop him.
We all like Jefferson. I thought we all liked Jefferson.
We all did like Jefferson.
After I talked you guys into him, but yeah,
No.
we'll move on.
I don't recall that.
Yeah,
I recall y'all talking me out of keeping Jefferson to pick up Ronald Jones Jr. or the second, but whatever.
That definitely sounds like Stefen.
Oh, Rojo's been great, so
He has been great.
can't be too upset about that.
Comeback player of the year.
Well, let's jump into the next one. We're starting to fly through these awards now. We have some decisive winners here. There's still one more category that doesn't have a decisive winner. We will get there.
I can't wait to discuss that. I'm going to discuss that so hard.
We're in our final 3 awards here, guys. I know it's been a long night, but strap on your bootstraps because these are the big 3. That's what I like to call them.
Ooh.
Yep. We will start off the big 3 with the best waiver pickup of the first half. We told you guys before the season starts that the waivers is where you win seasons. All right. We did the drafts. You guys had decent drafts, but now it's time to really prepare for the season, and the waivers is where you do that. We've had our waiver episodes where we tell you guys who to pick up, and maybe you'll hear some names that sound familiar. Oh wow.
Sure.
All right.
Should have done this one earlier.
The nominees are there's some duplicates you're starting to hear here. Chase Claypool, Mike Davis, James Robinson,
Yeah, feel it.
and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's one squeaky chair, my friend.
Try not to move back and forth too much.
Get some WD-40 on that thing pronto.
Can I have a drum roll, please? The waiver pickup of the first half is James Robinson.
Whoa. Good for you, James.
That's one of them that you had to do early. This was like week 1, like before the season even started. You picked him up on the waiver wire after drafts.
Complete flyer. I mean, that was the big thing about it. And running backs are hard to find on the waivers for sure.
I think we're talking about arguably the biggest snub here is Mike Davis. He's been great.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not going to last. I think that's the problem. James Robinson has season long.
This is first half only.
Yeah,
I think
I factor that into my decisions.
I think for the value of what you were, look, I mean, you lose.
You had to race to the waiver wires to get Mike Davis. Okay, everyone knew what was going to happen there. They all went there, and if you play in leagues where you have to pay up, people paid half their free agent money to get Mike Davis. James Robinson was a flyer right off the bat. Maybe you drafted them. Whoever drafted them, he was on your team. And even after that first week, you're like, oh, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know if I want those people that took. Those are the guys. Those are the champs.
Yeah, but who was anticipating Mike Davis to be that good?
I was.
No,
I was as well.
He was my top waiver pickup that week.
I actually projected every single point value that he had for this.
Is there anybody that you think should have deserved to be on this finalist list? I mean, there's a lot of great waiver pickups so far this year.
Could you give me some more if you know so many?
Travis,
I think Gotskowski could have probably made this list as well. Just saying.
Come on, man.
Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yeah.
Travis Fulgham, he's been great so far. He's been someone you picked up on the waiver wire. He's given you 3 great weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson was another guy who probably fell to a lot of waivers at the start of the year. You probably scooped him up there.
You mean fell, or do you mean like some fools put him there?
Oh,
you guys know what I'm talking about?
Well, it doesn't matter how they get on the waiver wires.
Doesn't matter how they
get
got
on there. Yeah, let's not relive the past here.
Myles Gaskin, another name that could maybe have made it on there. Jerick McKinnon, been great. A lot of guys could have made it onto this list, but maybe better luck for the second half of the season.
Maybe if they're lucky.
All right, the final 2 awards of the Stardom Awards. We have the big boys, the headliners, if you will. We'll start it off on the worst award of the night to receive the first half bust.
It's coming for you, buddy.
You will be receiving a small copper toilet in the mail with FFL logo. The nominees: Lamar Jackson.
Mm.
Same team. Mark Ingram.
Mhm.
I'm disappointed that the Ravens have been great. Therefore, there's the two headliner fantasy assets are right at the top here. AJ Green.
Son of a gun.
Wow.
I'll never forgive him.
And lastly, Zach Ertz.
Ooh, yeah, boy.
It's time of the show that we do not have a decisive winner of this award. They were all fresh nominees, no duplicates for the voting.
We've all been hurt in different ways, so it seems.
We'll go back to the same process here.
Okay.
We'll start with you this time, Jacob. If you had to do a 1-2 out of those four, who would they be?
Can I get the list again, please, before we
Sure.
get going here?
Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram,
Mm-hmm.
AJ Green, and Zach Ertz.
I would say Zach Ertz actually is my number one. He was one of those tight ends that was drafted early. He has been pitiful, despicable, disgusting, and just downright terrible. No one wants to play him anymore. People are dropping him left and right. He's injured now. I mean, see you later, dude.
Probably for the best.
Number
in
2.
fantasy.
What's up?
So his injury is probably for the best in fantasy. Not that I hope he,
I concur.
has ill will, but at least you're not going to play him now.
Never was. But anyways, so number 2, I would say Mark Ingram. I know he had decent draft capital. A lot of people drafted him expecting a decent, like obviously they drafted J.K. Dobbins as well. But when you saw Mark Ingram, you're like, they're going to get touchdowns. This rush defense or rush offense is going to get touchdown. They're going to get you points, even if he's splitting some carries, he's still going to fall in the end zone. He was splitting carries last year. That has not happened, and he has been atrocious. And I don't like it. Okay, he's burned me one time too many. Okay, that's it. That's 1 and 2.
That's fair. Ashton?
Where's Lamar currently ranked?
QB7.
Stefen, can you confirm that since he tends to look on standard?
He's,
Click.
QB7.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Stefen. And where were you picking him up?
The end of the second round, start of the third round.
Drafting him as QB 2 or 3 at the most?
2, yep.
1
Yeah.
or 2, yeah.
So Lamar Jackson, while still in a top 10 QB, that's great. I would say he's, for what you're drafting him at and your expectations with him, especially going into this year from where he ended up last year, that's a bust in my opinion for right now. And I would say I'm gonna fall in the Zach Ertz column there too, because he was going as tight end 4, I think, 3 or 4.
Yeah, he was up there.
Yeah,
He's going in 4th or 5th round. So
and you would
Broke
think
a lot
with,
of hearts.
I mean, I think he's peaked. I mean, at this point, they don't have many other options. I mean, Travis Fulgham is their top receiving option right now.
If you don't know who that is, you're not alone.
Yeah, but potentially, I mean, Fulgram's something special. I think if he stays in Philly, he's gonna be something great there. If they can fix everything else around him. But there's no reason that Wentz and Ertz shouldn't have a better connection than they are, except for performance from Ertz. I think at this point, I mean, it's just not there. Nothing's clicking. So I would say Zach Ertz is my second choice there.
very nice. Yeah, my top choice is Zach Ertz as well. Like, I feel like if you drafted him, you were giving up great running back and wide receiver options to get him. You thought he was a sure thing. Like, he's been a top 3 tight end for years and years and years and years. You thought you would have consistent production with him, and you've had everything but any production from Zach Ertz. And then my second would be probably Lamar Jackson, just based on the capital in which you spent to go get him, because you definitely gave up a lot to get Lamar Jackson. And he hasn't killed you, and you should still have good production going forward, but he's probably, just because of draft capital alone, So congratulations, or not congratulations, to Mr. Ertz. You will be receiving your small toilet in the mail. I kind of feel bad for you. To pile on the bad news of his injury, he will also be receiving a toilet. So, not a great week for Zach Ertz.
Sorry, Zach.
All right. And the final award of the night, the Mac Daddy of them all. The highlight to any of these players' resume, to be honest. Like when they add this to their resume, they're going to contract negotiations.
Money through the roof.
Mm-hmm. You tell that GM, you got a stardom award. Game over. The category is first half MVP. Who has been the greatest fantasy player of the first half of the fantasy regular season? The nominees are in Russell Wilson, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, and Calvin Ridley. Drum roll, please.
It's a big one.
The winner of the first ever Stardom first half MVP is Alvin Kamara.
Whoa!
Congratulations. You signed your contract a few weeks too early. You could have been far and away in the Patrick Mahomes territory. But congratulations nonetheless, Alvin Kamara. You have been fantastic.
This award does also include a mandatory guest appearance on our show. So we'll see you at the end of the season.
Right.
Yeah.
Free tickets, free merch.
Well, guys, that was fun. That was fun. I like seeing
Wow.
who the candidates were. It was very interesting receiving those nominees from you all. And some great takes from you guys. Great nominees tonight. Looking back, now that the awards are in the rear view, is there anybody that you felt that was who do you think was the biggest arguably snub of the night? Was there someone on that list that you feel like we missed the mark on some of these awards?
I'm just ready to party and celebrate this ceremonies. I'm kind of having a hard time focusing right now. But I think we all brought some great points to the table, and a lot of guys qualified for their respective awards, especially Zach Ertz and the toilet.
Yeah, especially the last award here. I think you could articulate and argue any of those players as being a first half MVP. It'll be interesting to see how we close out the season and where we stand with all those. But
to recap the winners on the night: MVP Alvin Kamara, bust Zach Ertz, waiver pickup James Robinson, rookie Justin Jefferson. 1 week performance is Mr. Derrick Henry, week 6. Comeback player was Stefen Diggs, and most likely not to continue their first half pace is Amari Cooper. Guys, that does it for the first half of our Stardom Awards. We will do a full-on more awards at the end of the season, but it was great. We're going to jump into the second half of the show here. I can probably lose the background, maybe the bow tie as well.
Wow. Sell out.
We're talking trade for as well as trade away candidates. Everybody, we got 6 games on everybody's records now. We're preparing for the second half of the fantasy season. We're looking towards the playoffs. We're trying to figure out how to manage our teams well enough to bring us those illustrious championships.
Mm-hmm.
Who is someone that you guys are trading for in order to set you guys up for championships? You know, who is someone that maybe didn't perform to their expectations, or maybe someone that performed great that, you know, you're just trying to capitalize on and expect more great things through the rest of the season? Does anybody want to lead us off here?
I'll lead us off.
Great.
feeling confident, excited about my guy. He's a running back.
Oh,
He is a
like running
rookie.
backs. Oh,
His name is Jonathan Taylor.
oh no.
I know. I know what you're thinking. Well, everybody loves this guy, right? And he's been putting up monster games. Incorrect. He is not. He is currently the running back 15. You might want to double check that. Who knows if this is standard or half. But my main thing that I'm looking at is he just hasn't been involved in the passing game as much as I'd hoped for, and just kind of take over that role. But the problem I think I've seen is that this defense they've just been doing work out there, and they're getting pick sixes all over the place. Their defense is phenomenal, and they're just not needing him as much. And I feel like, I don't know if they're saving him, but they're just splitting it up once that happens. But I do have a chart of his snap percentages, and it has gone up, which snaps when he's on the field all by his lonesome out there, just ready to take that ball. It's the past 4 weeks, he went from 40% to 72% this last week. They've been ramping up. He is a rookie. Marlon Mack tore his ACL right from the get-go, out for the year. So I think he's a rookie, ramping up, and now it is his time to shine. He's running back 15 right now. I think you could definitely go out there and trade him and not have to give up too much. Maybe a little 2-for-1 party pack, something like that. And I'd like to go after Jonathan Taylor. I'm expecting an explosive second half.
That's a great one. Ash, I'm going to jump in second here. In a second, you'll know why. The bad part about not telling each other who our trade candidates are is mine was also Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, wow.
Therefore, you probably trade for Jonathan Taylor. I have a second option too, so I'll go over my second option in more detail. Jonathan Taylor. That's an award on its own. I'll add a couple more points to Jonathan Taylor real quick. This is the week you have to do it. He's on his bye, and you see a lot of teams when they go on their bye, they try to get their rookies more implemented into their game plans. And I think where Jonathan Taylor is going to exceed in the back half is that they're going to have tougher matchups. Like, the reason why Indianapolis is winning is because their defense has been so great. But I think with these tougher matchups, some of these teams that they'll see in the second half are going to be really, really hard games where they're going to have to take advantage of some of their really talented guys. And I think they're going to have to ride on the back of Jonathan Taylor. So I think he's going to be a guy, once you make it to the playoffs, you're going to ride to a championship. But since, Jacob, you already covered Jonathan Taylor, I will add my other guy, who is Chris Godwin. I really like Chris Godwin. I told you guys before the season that he was the one guy in Tampa Bay that I was excited for with Tom Brady.
Should have been Gronk. Looks like you were wrong, buddy.
He's been injured left and right. Like, he played week 1, then got injured for week 2. Played week 3, then got injured week 4 and week 5, and then played last week. So it's like he's been gone multiple times. And if you're the owner of Chris Godwin, you're probably pretty frustrated. You drafted Chris Godwin in the end of the second, early third round. So he's a guy who you have a lot of capital in, but you've been frustrated with not being able to play him. So I think right now this is the opportune time to grab Chris Godwin while his value is super, super low. I think you can flip one of these guys, maybe even one of the waiver guys that we talked about earlier, and get Chris Godwin. And because I think once Chris Godwin is fully healthy, which it seems like he is now, he should be great, just like he was last year, and can be a top 10 wide receiver going forward. So Chris Godwin is my trade for candidate.
I kind of like that one.
Thank you.
Thank you as well.
So I was debating on a few different players here, and we had this conversation right before the show. But I was looking at a couple running backs and then a receiver, but I think I'm going to lean towards my first pick here, and I'll probably get some pushback from you, but I'm going to go ahead and pick someone that's on the uprise here, that's hot on the radar for a lot of people. A lot of people are anticipating him to not be able to carry this over into the second half, but I think he'll be just fine. and in fact give you more yardage than what people are anticipating, and that's Chase Claypool. Came in with some opportunity here with Juju not getting the work done, and then Deontay Johnson facing a couple weeks with different injuries. And Chase came to the rescue for the Pittsburgh Steelers and delivered some top performances for the week for receivers across the league. It's very clear that he has a connection with Roethlisberger, and they love using him so far. I don't anticipate that dropping. He's a phenomenal athlete, incredible ability. Their schedule is not too threatening. Week 7, they got Tennessee, and they got Baltimore away, versus Dallas. Their schedule is just not incredibly dangerous until maybe Buffalo and then Indy later in the season.
Cleveland is the Colts.
Yeah, so I'm not too concerned about it. I'm not worried about Juju or Deontay taking too much away from them when they step back up and get back in. I think Deontay's scheduled to play this week?
Yeah, he's full practicing right now.
So even with Deontay coming in, I think Chase will still be a vital part of this passing offense, and I think he's a solid pickup if you can not have to trade away, top dollar for him.
So which you did say he is a hot asset. What would you trade for Chase Claypool that you think would be like a competitive offer?
I would look for someone that's put up, essentially the matching points to what he's got for the season so far,
and some.
and
another player. I mean, like, would you?
Yeah, I wouldn't go full out for him. I mean, I think you'd have to be smart about it and strategic. But yeah, I think you could do a match point set. I mean, like if you're putting up, because where is he ranked right now?
He's wide
ranked
receiver 12.
Wide receiver 12. I mean, you could probably get away with trading a wide receiver top 17 wide receiver, and then maybe if you have a flex play that you're willing to give up, or RB3 that you're willing to throw in there for someone in need of an RB, then I think that's definitely worth a trade.
So let me throw out some names and the same rankings as Chase Claypool, some guys around him to see if you're higher on Claypool than you are on them, just so I can get a gauge of where you're at with Claypool. In front of him at 10 is Roby Anderson, someone we talked about earlier. Would you trade away Roby for Claypool?
Moving forward into the season, I'd consider that. I mean, I think you can have an argument on both sides there. I know Roby was high up for you moving forward, but I think Roby's schedule is a little bit tougher than Chase's schedule. And I think Roby's bringing a lot more attention to himself with these secondaries than Chase is. I mean, with the threats that Pittsburgh has, I think Chase will ultimately have the better opportunity with bigger ceiling games there than Roby would have moving forward.
Okay. And 2 other guys right behind him, real quick. What about Allen Robinson or Robert Woods? Would you trade away either of them for Chase Claypool?
I'd have to look at Robert Woods' numbers. I mean, Robert's that's a tough one because he's so phenomenal, and you got more experience there with him. You said the other one was Keenan Allen?
No, Allen Robinson.
Oh, Allen Robinson. Yeah, I might lean over Allen Robinson on this one, and not to take away from Allen Robinson's capability there, but I don't know if Chicago is going to hold it together offensively.
That's fair.
So, I mean, that's just my gut feeling about it. I think they're on a hot streak right now, but I don't see that holding for the rest of the season. I think they're going to have a downfall. And then obviously they'll kind of do what the Bears do. So, maybe Woods over Chase. But I think I would lean over Robinson in this one.
Okay.
Well, I will give you the flip side of the argument real quick, because we were talking before the show that Claypool was actually my second option for my trade away candidate. Just because if you look at his numbers, like obviously his numbers are super inflated by his 4 touchdown week, right? Like he had 39 points in 1 week, which will inflate anybody's numbers. But if you look really deep into the details here, he hasn't had more than 4 targets except for in 1 game. Like if you're looking for a receiver that's going to be reliable going forward, a guy that is going to have production on bad weeks, you can't sustain great numbers with 4 targets. Like it's not plausible. Like when you're looking for fantasy wide receivers, you want the guys who have 10 targets a game, or one of those elite guys that even when they're not connecting with their quarterback is going to have production just based on the volume alone. So I'm worried that Chase Claypool won't be able to sustain that. And he has 5 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. So like you said, like the value at this point is so high that it's never going to be higher than this for Chase Claypool. There's no way he goes up even more in value. So I feel like at this point,
you have to give up 6 total touchdowns.
Right. But he has 5 in the last 2 weeks. Right.
Okay.
So it's like what you have to give up right now to get Chase Claypool, in my mind, is not even close to worth it. Like any of those guys I named before, I would much rather have than Chase Claypool. Like Chase Claypool to me is in the same category as someone like Tyler Boyd or, one of those lower receivers, Devontae Parker, like a guy that can give you a great game, but can also like disappear. Like they're just guys that I can't trust as a fantasy asset. They're guys that, they would get less than 5 points and it wouldn't surprise me, but can also have those blow up games. So I'm just worried about relying on Chase Claypool, especially once we get to the playoffs where you need that consistent production. But I understand your argument as well.
Yeah, I love how respectful I get your argument too, and I appreciate it. It's just one of those things where I think we're starting to see a little bit of an evolution with wide receivers, especially like more physical wide receivers like Chase Claypool or the DK Metcalfs or AJ Browns. I mean, especially when they're using them in
rushing situations on the goal line.
Yeah, and they're succeeding. They're getting touchdowns. I mean, part of that is the physical capability of these players, but also the coaching. So I'm trying to look at the bigger picture here, and Mike Tomlin he's not messing around. I mean, he's gunning for something big here, and their offensive setup is built to succeed. And I think in this situation, yes, looking at the consistency can be concerning, but he didn't have a real opportunity to be exposed and show that the talent that he has until his big breakout when Deontay went down. I think it was the first time he went out was a concussion injury, right? Yeah, he got hit in the head and went out concussion protocol.
Week 5.
Yeah, I mean that was his big blowout game, and then we were concerned that he wasn't gonna follow through the next week, and he sure did. I mean, he still put up great numbers, and I think that's when he got a rushing touchdown as well. So, I mean, I think they're going to continue to use them, and I think you're going to see other wide receivers kind of be exposed in that kind of gameplay as well, where they're not just lining up outside, and they're going to start to evolve more in these trick plays and hard to read offenses. And I think he's just at the top of that list right now. So I think his consistency is going to get better. You're going to see him get more opportunity, and I'm on that side of the line. But I get your argument there.
Yeah, for me, since I didn't speak too much about it, I would just say I would want to see more volume when Deontay's back. That's pretty much it. And if he can still sustain that, and they're trying to get him the ball. He had 5 rushing attempts over the last 2 weeks, and he had a touchdown in each game from rushing. So you do see the positives, but Deontay Johnson was out. Juju has been poo-poo. So it's hard to say to see what's going to happen, but I do think he is at peak value right now. So I would honestly hope for a bad game and then trade for him. But he's got a great future, Chase. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. What about trade away candidates? Who's someone that if you have on your roster, you're trying to capitalize on all that value and get the most that you can while you can? Ashton, you want to lead us off here?
I can. My immediate thought on this was Juju, but I think I'm going to lean towards Ronald Jones right now. He's ranked 14th running back. He's coming off of 3 straight games where he's averaged over 100 yards per game. He's a fully explosive physical running back. And I think if you could word it correctly in a great trade proposal, I think you could get something a little bit more.
Little package. Him and somebody get
just
someone
a little
that's
bit more,
higher
just a little
tier.
bit more valuable for what you might be looking for in an RB2 or a stronger flex position, or flex player. I have Ronald Jones on my team. It's one of those things where I'd be perfectly fine keeping him, but it's definitely one where I'm willing to shop around and see what I would really be offered back in a trade proposal there. So coming off of his 3 games where he's done very, very well. They're using him a little bit more. My only concern there is his usage in the passing game, but I think Tampa's really starting to get in a rhythm here offensively, and there's an opportunity for him to be a little bit more involved in that passing game. But I haven't seen it yet. But I think if you can word it correctly in a trade, I think you could probably get something worth a look.
That's a good one. I actually didn't think about that, and the fact that Leonard Fournette's been out, those stats have been inflated, but he has looked good. But there's no way they signed Fournette and not going to play him as well once he does come back.
And you can. I don't personally think Fournette's going to be too much of a threat to Rojo coming back, but to the unknown, you don't have to lean that way. You can
Exactly.
You can make that a threat against them. So
don't even say anything about Fournette.
Just be smart about it.
Look how good he is.
Yeah,
take him. Give me more.
Jacob, what about you? Who you got?
I know Ashton's not going to like this one. I can almost guarantee it. And it is Todd Gurley. I haven't liked Todd Gurley. I haven't liked what I've seen this year, just on a performance, just the way he looks when he's running out there. This past week, 2.4 yards per attempt. He's only been over, I think he's been over 5 twice, but most of the time he's around 2.9, 3.6, 2.4. That's just not what you want. He's living on a prayer, and that prayer is touchdowns. Okay. If he didn't have as many touchdowns as he does, he would be nowhere near where he is right now. I believe, let me see if I have the correct rankings up.
But he is there.
He is there. He is currently the running back 13.
Where's Melvin Gordon when he's not getting pulled over?
He missed the game, but he was 1 rank behind him before he missed the game. FYI.
But he's not there now. He's 27.
He's on back there now.
The team isn't punishing him. Just FYI.
Yeah, he was at practicing. He was at practicing. Yeah, I saw that.
They should be. Okay. Drink responsibly, people. But anyways. I think Todd Gurley is at peak value right now. I think Matt Ryan's starting to figure out his passing woes, and maybe that's better for the offense. But you see him, Brian Hill, a little bit more involved, not too crazy. Todd Gurley's getting most of it, but it's just, I think this is as good as it's going to get for him. He's had 5 touchdowns, I think. Yeah, 5 touchdowns, and I think that was in the last 5 weeks. So I just think it's peak value right now. And it's time to cash out the chips.
Who was the third running back in that bet? Gurley,
David Johnson.
Gordon. David Johnson, that's right.
David Johnson. Don't worry, he's coming around. He's at 21.
I like the Gurley one. I have Gurley in a couple of leagues, and if I can get some value for Todd Gurley, I think I'd take it right now. All right.
That was Stefen's subtle way of saying I didn't like the Rojo one.
I would love to have
I like that
Jones
one
on
a
my
lot,
team right
actually.
now.
I haven't thought about that. I think that one's better than Todd Gurley.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Because I think he's going to fall off worse than Todd Gurley, but who knows? He looks so good.
My trade away player is Adam Thielen.
Whew.
He's currently wide receiver number 2.5 point, wide receiver number 1 in standard.
My kind of stats.
And I'm not the one to say that Adam Thielen isn't going to be good for the rest of the season. I think he should be fine. But Adam Thielen, this is the value that you want. You can't ask for any more value than this. If you can trade away Adam Thielen for a consistent running back or one of these wide receivers that has missed games and is going to be great, I think I would take that move right now. I just feel like Adam Thielen has been producing at a crazy level. And if you look at his playoff matchups, he has Tampa Bay, Chicago, and New Orleans for fantasy playoffs. Like,
It's not great.
That's not what you want. You know, if you do have Adam Thielen right now, you're probably winning a lot of games because he's just been fantastic. But you've seen, like we talked about it earlier, like Justin Jefferson has been emerging onto the scene and just has been fantastic. And Kirk Cousins has not looked too hot. So for me, I think there's multiple factors here in play for why Thielen shouldn't have quite the second half of the season that he is in the first half of the season. So if I have Adam Thielen, I kind of want to try to capitalize on the value that he has right now and grab someone that I have higher hopes for to lead me to those championships and capitalize on that second half value. So Adam Thielen is my trade away candidate.
Okay, let me throw some names at you. You
Sure.
said maybe another top tier wide receiver that's been hurt,
Mm-hmm.
not feeling good, not playing right. Okay,
Sure,
the first one that comes to my mind when we talked about tonight was Chris Godwin. Would you trade Adam Thielen for Chris Godwin?
Ooh. No, I don't think so. Because I don't think Chris Godwin has that top 6 or so production with Tom Brady.
But just Thielen with Kirk Cousins and their terrible defense?
Well, I know Thielen is doing it right now, so I'll take Thielen just because I think they'll have to pass more.
Okay, let's see. Thielen for Will Fuller.
No. Well, I'll give you some guys that
I don't even think you know who you would trade for.
If I can get Michael Thomas straight up for Adam Thielen, if I can trade it away the number 2 wide receiver and grab Michael Thomas coming off injury, I'd do that. If I could package Adam Thielen with a middle tier running back and grab Christian McCaffrey, I would do that. Like, I would get these guys that are going to be fantastic in a package for Mr. Thielen.
I like that out of you. Good job.
Thank you.
Bold, aggressive.
Well,
it's always hard. Those are the hardest guys to trade when they're on your team and they're like top 5 in their position. Yeah.
It's like, do I want to get rid of it?
People are always like, why are you doing this? What's the catch?
What do you know? Huh?
What do you? Yeah, who's your insider?
But everybody wants one of those, top 3 guys on their team. So, giving that argument that, look, this guy's been the best, get him, like, you want him. That's a lot of
and you got to look at
bargaining.
people's lineups too, like what they need. So
Right.
you're not going to go to somebody that has stacked wide receivers and try to get them Adam Thielen, or depending on what you're trying to get.
Yep. Well, that does it. We did a little bit of a different show today. I like that we switched it up. Gave our listeners a little bit something different to hear. Let us know if you guys like the idea of kind of doing some different styles of shows going forward. If you guys just kind of want the standard matchup previews, news, injuries, waiver pickups, that kind of thing. We're happy to hear any feedback that you guys have to give us. And going forward, we might add a couple more shows with different kind of takes and different spins and segments on things. But guys, it was fun. I really enjoyed our little first half award show and hearing some of the trade guys that you guys had to add in there.
Good switch up. Loved it.
I'm gonna dress better next time.
Thank you. I'll prepare you guys.
Stefen might wear pants.
I don't know that I don't have pants.
We know.